Welcome everyone to this week's Fish Friday. Today we are on Fish Friday number 34 and we have a good one. This is a fish that you have almost certainly, if you have had a freshwater aquarium in your life, you've had these fish in there. You may not have realized it and you may not have realized how important they were, but hopefully by the end of this video you will. Today we are going to be talking about the angelfish, the common angelfish actually. Angelfish, the particular angelfish that we're going to be talking about today is the angelfish, scientific name Pterophyllum scalari. These are the most common angelfish species in the aquarium trade. There are three recognized genera, or no, scratch that, three recognized species of angelfish. Scalari is your most common one. Then you have Leopoldi and Altum. Altum is probably your second most common one, but there is interbreeding between them. And if they're not wild, they can be really difficult for someone who is inexperienced to determine the differences between them. But we're going to be primarily talking about Scalari here. So Pterophyllum scalari. They are part of the family Cichlidae, which is your cichlid family. This family also includes your bass, all your other perch, your perciformes. It is in that order. So it is a cichlid, as the family name would suggest. And as I stated already, this is the most common species of angelfish kept in captivity. They are native to the Amazon River Basin in Peru, Colombia, and Brazil. So, they do have a very wide range. And they're found in the swamps or flooded grounds where there's a very, very dense vegetation. And usually the water is very silty. It's not only silty, it's also warm. When you keep them in an aquarium, you want to keep them around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 27 degrees Celsius. That's a really, really warm water fish. Now these get up to about 15 centimeters, which is about 6 inches. So they're a decent sized fish. And I want you to remember that's measuring it horizontally. These fish are obviously much taller than they are wide. As evidenced, one of the best characteristics for them is they are greatly laterally compressed. Meaning that side to side they're squished in and elongated from top to bottom. But they do have a rounded body. Think almost like a silver dollar. You take a silver dollar, it is laterally compressed from the head of the coin to the tail of the coin, but it's wide. So think like a silver dollar. And very obvious, they have an elongated dorsal. They have an elongated dorsal and anal fin, usually with some sort of filaments coming out. And then, of course, their pectoral fins have this pelvic fins. Sorry, not pectoral. Their pelvic fins are going to traditionally have these very, very long filaments coming out of them. Now, the natural color morphs are going to be these vertical striping ones. Here's another good example of a more natural color morph of these. So now angelfish have all sorts of color morphs, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but this is what you would expect to find if you found these in the Amazon River Basin. This 2 to 3 stripes, long filaments, things like that. And yes, the filaments do actually have a purpose. The filaments, along with their elongated dorsal and their anal fins, the filaments, they use those filaments to really use as camouflage in these plants and roots that these things live in. I just talked about how they live in very densely vegetated areas. That's to allow them to sort of blend in with the background. Think like a tiger stripes sort of thing. The tiger stripes are using it to hide in the tall grass. Well, that's kind of what these things are doing, which is kind of what these things really helps these things both hide and also find prey, because these are ambush predators, meaning that they're kind of stalking along and then they come out of cover, grab something to eat, and come back. And these things have a very wide diet. They kind of eat anything. They will definitely eat smaller fish. They eat a lot of insects. You know, these things are very, very easy to feed, which is one reason why they are so popular in the aquarium trade. Another reason why they're popular in the aquarium trade is not only are they very easy to feed, they're also easy to breed. Now, it's very, very difficult to sex these until they are ready to breed. In fact, usually the best way to tell is you can try and keep one male to two females, 1 to 2, on maybe 1 to 1. But if one fish is kicked out of a group, and then there are 3 that are hanging around themselves, chances are one that got kicked out is a male. So you want to try and find it another home. As I said, they're very difficult to sex. However, these things can spawn. Angelfish can spawn about every 7 to 10 days. So they can spawn very, very rapidly, especially when you take their first round of egg laying that they do and remove the eggs. They will really do it. They have a very, very intense sort of brood care development to them. So when they decide they want to spawn, they're going to find a location where the female will want to lay the eggs. And the eggs are generally going to be laid on a submerged log or a flattened leaf. You can also kind of trick them by doing like a dinner plate in there. They love going on a big flat surface. So they'll find a big flat surface. And then they'll spend 1 to 2 days, both the male and the female, cleaning the surface of the where they think they're going to lay their eggs. Completely cleaning it of all dirt, detritus, algae, completely killing it. And then the female will lay a line of eggs, and the male will find and fertilize those eggs. And the female will continue doing that until they get like somewhere between, it's a very wide range, but a lot of eggs. They'll lay a filament of eggs that are just attached by a strand, then they'll lay another one, then another one, until you get, 5, 6, 700, up to like 1,200 eggs. Then, the male comes right behind and fertilizes. And then the pair takes turns maintaining circulation of the water. They come real close to the eggs and they fan them with their pectoral fin, keeping that water really circulating through those eggs and making sure the water is highly oxygenated to allow for those eggs to develop. Then, once the eggs hatch, the males and females will actually take care of the young. Cichlids usually have very, very developed young, care of the young. They're not like a lot of other fish that sort of abandon their young once they hatch. These actually will continue protecting them until they get big enough to. Now, because of how easy these things are to breed in an aquarium, there is a very big problem for inbreeding, and that's where you get those really strange colors. Marble veil, koi angelfish. There's so many different color morphs of angelfish out there that has been the result of very dramatic inbreeding. So just because something is pretty, and this is very true in the aquarium trade, please be aware that just because something has a really cool color pattern or really pretty does not necessarily mean that this is the healthiest fish and could possibly be inbred. And the more inbred they are, the more likely that their brood care is going to be subpar, their health is going to be subpar. Most of the time people don't realize how big of an aquarium these fish need, and it's not necessarily that they need a very big aquarium, but they need a tall aquarium. You have to get them one that they can fully stretch their fins out for them to be very healthy. You don't necessarily need a wide one, they need a tall. But kind of the interesting fact that we're gonna semi in this video on is that these actually form monogamous pairs. And not only do they form monogamous pair, it's one of the few instances where there have been cases of where the monogamous is for life on both sides. Usually when animals say they take a monogamous pair, if one gets removed or dies for any reason whatsoever, the other partner will find another mate. Quickly, just said they were basically you have a pair, one dies, this one will go find another one to make a pair with. Whereas angelfish, there's been evidence on both cases where if one of the half dies, the other partner will go find another mate. But some breeders have said that they have had an angelfish completely stop trying to mate and find try even protect territory once it mates. So a little bit of both. Now, as far as the price for these angelfish, you can find them everywhere. You can find them in any pet store usually, and the prices range everywhere depending on the color form. You have albino, Altum, that's the one that we were talking about, the other wild color morph. Altum, $76. Assorted angelfish, where they just give you 4 random ones. Blue Pinoy, blue leopards, and everything from, basically we have everything for let's see what the cheapest one in here is. $7, and everything from $7.98 to $76. $76, just all sorts of things. Marbled angelfish. See, that's getting close right there. That Peruvian Altum, that's very, very wild point. Red devil angelfish, zebra lays, and we immediately go over to this site, assorted. This site has them from $5 to $17, depending on the color morph. The website doesn't seem to have any wild types in stock. Now, I have kept these in an aquarium, and I can tell you they are very, very easy to breed. In an aquarium, if you don't have a log or a leaf that they like, they'll just go lay their eggs on the ground. It's super easy. I hatched the eggs, and then other fish in my aquarium decided that, we're gonna eat those babies, and so they ate them all. I didn't have any young, but it took very, very little effort. All you have to do to keep them in an aquarium is just make sure they have plenty of food so that they don't eat any of your smaller fish. Like if you want to have a South American community tank and you want to have tetras or something, big fish eat smaller fish. Pretty good rule of thumb. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. Listen, guys, take care of yourselves this weekend. Just take care of yourselves. I hope to see you again. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you do, I'd really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and peace.